President Cyril Ramaphosa has reiterated South Africa's position of pursuing an independent foreign policy approach that is not beholden to any of the major global powers or blocs. Ramaphosa was speaking during an open plenary session chaired by Russian President Vladimir Putin at the second summit in that country to strengthen ties with the continent. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo is in St Petersburg and brings us this report.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says the strengthening of mutually beneficial relations with countries like Russia will bolster efforts to ensure the success of the African Continental Free Trade Area. This comes as most of the African leaders speaking at the summit decried the looming food security crisis in their respective countries amid the collapse of the Black Sea grain deal. But not all nations are facing the same challenges, and a blanket approach should not be adopted.
In Uganda, we don't have a problem of food. Uganda is a net exporter of food. Products like maize, milk, bananas, fruits, fish, cassava, not to mention beverages like coffee, tea, cocoa, vanilla, etc. are produced in big quantities, and with irrigation, bigger quantities are possible. Without irrigation, our farmers produce 5.3 tons of bananas per hectare. With irrigation and fertilizers, that production has gone 53 tons per hectare in some of the government-supported farms. It is therefore important for our partners to know that some of the African countries, such as Uganda, produce huge quantities of food, and moreover, food of unique nutritional value, beef with yellow fat, instead of the cholesterol-laden types you get from many parts of the world.
On issues of peace and security, Ramaphosa has reflected on how the continent is a casualty of wars that are beyond their scope or control. He's maintained that the only path to peace in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine is through continuous negotiations and dialogue with both sides.
Greater participation of our countries of the global south will promote inclusiveness and engender trust. In this regard, the reform of the multilateral financial institutions, as well as the reform of the United Nations Security Council, remain a priority for us. It is totally unfair, inequitable, and unacceptable that a continent that represents 1.3 billion people continues to be not represented on the UN Security Council.
Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa has lambasted Western countries for what he maintains are illegal sanctions against his nation, and has joined the chorus of some African leaders in welcoming Russia's renewed interest in the continent.
Just because we had decided to reunite our people with its land. Notwithstanding this, my administration, guided by its policy of engagement and re-engagement, has chosen to be a friend to all and an enemy to none. But some countries have chosen to be our detractors in spite of that policy.
Putin, whose country is also facing similar limitations, didn't hesitate to echo Zimbabwe's sentiments.
Санкции вводятся против тех, кто не хочет жить как раз вот по тем правилам, которые кто-то нарисовал. В этой связи мы поддерживаем идею подавляющего большинства собравшихся о необходимости увеличения роли Африки в системе Организации Объединенных Наций, с тем, чтобы мы все жили не по правилам, которые кто-то написал для себя, а навязывает нам, а жили бы по международному праву, по нормам международного права.
Other issues raised by the African leaders during the dialogue were around arms and security, just energy for the continent, and mining opportunities in some of the resource-rich countries. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Ziyanda Ngcobo in St Petersburg, Russia.